Hockey, best game ever? Well, Preston and I have a limited memory on hockey, but we're gonna vouch for it. We're gonna hang around for that. We'll tell you more about it when we come back. 803-404-6100 is the early game.
Press here for our friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshield, no problem. They'll come out to your location and they'll replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with the insurance to take away the headache. That's right. They'll come out to wherever you are, school, home, work, it does not matter. Absolute Glass will take care of the job for you. Now, if you're at home, you're looking to increase the value of your home, you can do that with new windows or mirrors. And Absolute Glass will come out and take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. Say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
his own zone now with Ekholm. But Colson, nice pass across. Here's Draisaitl. Here's front, scores! Leon Draisaitl's won it in Game 4 for the Oilers, and the series is tied at 2.
Oh, man. What a night this has been. The ups, the downs, the raw emotions. And in the end, Chris, this is a one-hand pass attempt by Draisaitl that goes off Mikkola and finds its way through Bobrovsky. How about this? The end of a long shift, a chip into the middle. Draisaitl driving to the net, one hand on his stick right off the pad, and you know Bobrovsky.
That was the call last night in the NHL Finals, the Stanley Cup, where Edmonton evens the series, and I've said it for several years. I'll say it again for as long as I get to be on radio. The Stanley Cup delivers, man. The playoff, the NHL play, it honestly encompasses everything we want, in my opinion, in sports. It's fast-paced, obviously very fast-paced. It's physical, extremely physical. You were just joking off air about the third. It was 6-1 in the game 3, and they're fighting each other. Goals can happen. It's spontaneous. Just things happen.
Yeah, like in the last 20 seconds of the third period when you're down by 1. Yes, it can happen, and I went to sleep on it.
Yeah,
yes.
You have to keep. Yeah, you honestly, if it's a 1-goal game,
I made a very rookie mistake last night.
And again, I know it's typically low scoring, but the way the scoring kind of occurs is really good. And then also, it kind of fits into the time limit. 3 20-minute periods. I mean, it's kind of a fast-paced, and by that I mean time frame. Like, no offense to baseball, but you're not worried about a 4-hour hockey match. No offense to football, but it flows. There's not as many, hey, you got to punt, kickoff, whatever, where all flags, penalties. It is honestly what everybody wants in sport. It's NHL playoff hockey, not regular season. Regular season's fun too, but playoff hockey and Stanley Cup is an experience, and you saw that last night.
I mean, this series has been amazing. There's been 3 overtime games, obviously all decided by one goal, because in overtime you can only sudden death. And then the game, which was a blowout, there was a full-on line fight. A full-on 4-5 minute where the dudes just come on the ice and decide that, hey, we're going to fight. And obviously you're only going to see that in hockey because they wouldn't let that happen in any other sport. But last night I'm watching the game. It's 3-0. 3-0 Panthers. I tune in at 3-0 Panthers. So then I tune out because I'm like, whatever. That's going to. And so I'm scrolling on Twitter. All of a sudden, it's tied up. 3-3. Okay, cool. Then Edmonton takes the lead. It's 4-3. I watched the last period all the way up until 1 minute left, Bill, and I made a conscious decision because I have to wake up early in the morning to go to sleep. And 30 seconds later, the Panthers tie it up. Then it goes to overtime. Leon Draisaitl. Now, here's the real conversation. Who's more clutch? Tyrese Halliburton or Leon Draisaitl? Leon Draisaitl has had 4 overtime goals this playoff season. Not ever. This playoffs, Leon Draisaitl has ended 4 games with 1 stick. And, Bill, here's the most important thing. I'm watching Gretzky talk about hockey last night, and he said, I think whatever Canadian, Russian player or somebody, I don't remember the name, he's like, I think he should have one-timed that shot. And I was like, ooh, one-timer. I know what that means.
Yeah.
Because in NHL 95, they introduced this new thing where you could one-time a shot. And what a one-time is, it means you don't reset the puck. You just hit it while it's on the way. And I was like, you're right, Gretzky. He should have one-timed that. And so that was my little...
Man, I got exactly what he's saying.
I know exactly what Gretzky's talking about. So, yes, I was in last night. It was a great game. Great game.
It has been. We've actually so far been fairly lucky with both the NBA Finals and NHL Finals to have really good games. And tonight, is this a must-win for the Thunder?
Yeah, I think it is. Because they are the favorite team, and you don't want to go down. And I think we're starting to maybe have some questions about, I keep pronouncing that, Mark Daigneault, I believe is his name. He was a very good coach. He's proven to be a good regular season coach. Mm-hmm. but maybe this moment might be a little bit too big for them. We'll see. I'll take my money on Ray Carlisle. Obviously, my Pacers are playing well, but I do expect a good game tonight.
I go Thunder tonight because I think they'll bounce back and be fine. But the Pacers, that crowd, we talked about it on what was that, Wednesday? They're going to be into it. I just think the Thunder come back and get the job done tonight. I actually think they win the next 3 probably to close this thing out, close it out in OKC.
And let me go back to the NHL real quick. The Panthers are going for a repeat, right? They're going for a second title in a row. These teams are rematching the conference that they had, the game that they had last year. So that's every bit of drama. And, oh, yeah, Edmonton has the best player in the NHL in Connor McDavid. So that's everything you need for this to be really fun to watch.
We'll do a whole nother hour. A lot to get to here as we were having a fun little morning. Hope you're up and moving around. We'll get back into some of what Jeremiah Donati had to say, including some stadium discussion. We're getting a brand new stadium. Maybe not. We'll tell you about it, though. Bill Gunner from Mid-State Roofing. Let me tell you, Mid-State Roofing has been around and been the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry for 30-plus years. It's that history that's what really stands out. They do a phenomenal job. You don't get to work 30 years and be the leader if you're not doing a phenomenal job. But what really stands out is their customer service. They want to make sure that you're taken care of, and they want to make sure you're taken care of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's why when you give them a phone call, if it's after hours, you'll speak with an on-call technician. And if it's during hours, a Mid-State Roofing employee. So it doesn't matter because leaks don't really pay attention to time. They just occur. That's why at Mid-State Roofing, they have somebody there to help you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At Mid-State Roofing, they design and install bonded systems with a protective guarantee that keeps your operation dry and running long into the future. So give them a phone call this morning, 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek.
Fairfield Road at North Main, we have a report of an accident there. Also, Garner's Ferry Road near Old Eastover Road, more so at Piney Branch. And Two Notch at I-20 also have a report of a slowdown there. So do be careful out there if you would. We're looking for a high today of about 87. A pop-up afternoon or evening storm is possible because, you know, it's June. 88, and some afternoon or evening thunderstorms tomorrow. And a few storms for Father's Day. 89 will be our high. Cloudy and just kind of moving along. It's about 76 currently on 107.5 The Game.
Eight a.m., one more hour here before we get you ready for the weekend. Turn it over to Tyler Head and the gang. Then you'll have Terry and Tyler from 12 to 3, and Elijah from Jay from 3 to 6 today. And reminder, go to our 107.5 The Game Facebook page and look at our baby photos. Try and figure out who is who. If you make the most correct picks, you could potentially win first place, and that would be a beer card valued at $275 and a family 4-pack of Firefly tickets. So go to our Facebook page, 107.5 The Game Facebook page, and check that out. We've spent a lot of this morning talking about Jeremiah Donati and what he had to say. A lot of interesting stuff, Preston, just encompassing NIL, revenue sharing. We've listened a little bit about baseball. We'll get you some basketball and some stadium discussion here in a minute. But it was really truly the first time that Jeremiah Donati, who's been on the job for 6 months and 13 days, I think has finally had a chance to assess a lot. He's still got to go through a football season here and see what that's exactly like and how that plays out. But it's really the first time he's been able to speak with knowledge of a lot of different situations.
Yeah, we had the intro, and he came on the radio, and he introduced himself and basically talked about what his goals and what his plans were. But now we're getting a chance to see him in action. And as I stated, I believe the date was when he started talking about the stadium improvements, and also the John Whittle article dropped on the same day. I was like, oh, that's the day he actually became the AD, when something happens. And now we get a chance to hear a little bit about how he approaches the job based on, not in theory, not in just some random ideas, based on what is actually happening. And he has some significant challenges.
So we, in the last hour, let you listen to him talk about baseball and obviously the disappointment that this past season was. He used the patience word, or said fans need to have patience. I'm trying not to do it on air. I'm trying to avoid it.
Well, he didn't use the word. He said you have to have the P word. And I was like, I don't know about that, Jeremiah.
Be careful there with that. But, yeah, he addressed that and basically said, hey, we're not going to make a change just after year one. We're going to go about doing things the right way and give Pulmonary time. And he expressed that he thought, Jeremiah Donati thinks, they're doing really well in the portal. And they might, I don't know. I don't know how to, I can figure out basketball portal rankings. I can look at football portal rankings and or additions and be like, I think that's good. That's pretty good. Baseball, it's just so wide open.
I'm here to tell you this. This is my take. This is my stance. Everybody's great in the portal.
Very true.
I haven't seen a bad portal take yet. Third string guy from the MEAC, yep, he's going to work. He's going to work.
Right. He's moving up.
He's underrated. Wasn't used properly in that system. Dude with the 8+ ERA, he's lefty. He got good stuff. So I don't know if we can evaluate what's happening. There's a lot of activity in the portal. It seems to be a lot of dudes who did have some success in their previous stops. Jeremiah noted that there are more resources available for them to use. So that could be something. We'll have to see what happens.
Let's hear him talk. He's talked about baseball. We know that was disappointing. He also yesterday on air with Jay and Elijah talked about men's basketball. Here's what he had to say regarding the men's basketball program.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I mean, some days someone will do a case study on this last call in the old NIL world about what you saw in the men's basketball numbers. I mean, it was unbelievable. And so, we were in the middle of that, and we provided the team with Lamont with a lot of resources, and I think he put them to good use. I'm really excited about the guys that we've got coming in, the guys we've got coming back. Obviously we would have loved to have had Colin come back, but when you've got a guy who's going to be a cinch to be a upper first round draft pick, you gotta wish him well and give him a hug on his way out the door, because that's what's best for him. That's why he came here, and candidly, when he goes on and does well, that's going to open the door for Lamont to recruit others, because he's shown that he can develop those guys. So, we knew we were, one of the things is that Lamont, made it probably look a little easier the year before. And then as the game kind of changed, we probably didn't resource him, provide enough resources on that NIL front. And so that was kind of the big thing, is we needed to make a commitment to the program to do that. We did that. As we did that, the market kind of exploded. And so we absolutely did more than we thought we would need to do. And we like, the guys we brought in. And so it was a wild off season in the sport of men's basketball. And, I think I speak for Lamont and others that this new world, if you will, NIL will continue to be important, but those contracts will be paid primarily through the rev share component. I think we're ready to kind of make that adjustment.
It is a new world, but everybody has to navigate it. We're all playing on the same field right now. And now money can be a little bit different, but you're all playing on the same field and trying to navigate it.
Yeah, and he spoke to the idea of that there was essentially a gold rush between when this legislation was going to come into place and cap the athletes' abilities to earn based on the rev share agreements and what was the time period before. So you saw a lot of players being able to command more money on the market because that's what the situation was. What we need to be able to see is, with the resources, and he keeps using that phrase, use resources, I'm assuming that means money, right? I don't know what else resources mean in this aspect. But with these additional resources, will they be able to fill out a roster that can compete? Because, again, baseball was bad, but basketball wasn't very far behind it.
Something that I find interesting, I don't mean this to be offensive to Jeremiah Donati or anything. What I'm just saying, what it sounds like is, as he's learning, and he has now been able to watch half of a basketball season. I think he's actually been able to watch more. I can't remember officially when he got hired. I know he took the job officially on January 1. But if he's watched, it sounds like to me he's basically saying, hey, I'm giving them what they need. We are getting them the resources to win. If you don't win, it's on you. You're not going to turn around and go, well, I didn't. Remember, who was it? It was Kevin. Was it Kevin Willard at Maryland? I think it was Kevin Willard, who now is at.
He was formerly at Maryland.
Yeah. Indiana? Did he take Indiana?
I don't remember.
But my point is he basically looked around and was like, you guys aren't helping me. The athletic director. And that was in the NCAA tournament. And I say that because it feels like Jeremiah Donati is out there saying right now, hey, we are giving our coaches what they need to win. When he keeps using, well, we got resources. They got resources now. That's how it comes across to me.
Well, he said they were under-resourced to start with. He said that they were under-resourced. Then the game changed. They gave them resources. The market exploded, and so they were kind of under-resourced again. And it feels like they've given them enough money to compete and be able to fill out a roster, which maybe that's the point. Hey, listen, you have what you need. Let's see what the results are. He just stated that what is his level of patience? He told us to pack our patience. Like I tell my 5-year-old, pack your patience. So you fans out there, pack your patience. But how far does it go? I don't know. We'll see.
New stadiums, shiny seats, suites always help. And one of the things that has been discussed is the football stadium project. Here is Jeremiah Donati yesterday giving an update on the football stadium project.
As soon as the season's over, if all goes well, we would be working on the first stage of this. And, you mentioned we did put out the renderings. Much more to come there. We're really excited about what we're seeing evolve as the kind of the tenets of this project and the four or five big things we're trying to accomplish. You just mentioned the West Side Premium, which is obviously, a big part of this for sure. We need to significantly upgrade those experiences, and there's a revenue component there. But then you start saying, okay, how do we touch all the fans, including the students? And I think one of the things I'm really excited about is enhancing the student section. You talk about the club underneath their space, the new video boards. They'll be visible from the student section, and to most of the fans, will be in the south end zone. just imagine Williams-Brice Stadium with those components. It'll be pretty neat. And then, of course, the little stuff, the restrooms, the concessions, relocating the visiting team locker room so we don't have their buses out in front of our stadium. All those will add to a better experience. They'll all add to more efficiency within the stadium. When you have an inefficient operation, it drives up costs. It leads to delays. It causes a lot of frustrations with our fans. And so we want to help solve for all those things. So we're trying to accomplish a lot. It's a very interesting time in our world as you hear about these tariffs and these costs. But my experience has been that it's never a better time than to do it right now, that these costs, they always go up. I've never, and again, I haven't done this forever, but my experience has been it doesn't get cheaper to do these things. And so the time is really now. We've got a tremendous amount of momentum. We've got a lot of donors that are ready to jump in. So you're just really excited. Hopefully you can hear the excitement in my voice. I think it'll be a great thing for not just the athletics department, but for the school, for the city, for the state. These things. And then the other thing too is I would just say about it is that this will also invite more guests to the city of Columbia. And what I mean by that is outside events and concerts and those types of things. It's our job on this university to literally and figuratively invite people to this campus, and this will be a big part of that.
There's a lot there. The first thing that jumps out to me, because I would like to know more detail on that, he says relocating the guest locker rooms to where? Across the street? And then we make them have to walk across?
That's a good call.
That was an intro. There's a lot there. The student section, club seating that he's kind of talking about to kind of give them an area to kind of go in and be in air conditioning and do some things. I think that's a great idea. But I am fascinated by because that's a change there. He's talking about not having the other team's buses out in front of the stadium, which again, brilliant idea. Just where are we putting these? Where are we putting the opposing team? That might be minor, by the way, to a lot of people. It's just something, as he said, I was like, because I had never heard him say that. I was like, where are we putting them?
See, Bill, this is when you got to watch HGTV. When you got to watch Flip My Stadium or something.
Okay.
Stadium Fixer-Upper. And we get Chip and Joanna in there, and they put shiplap on different places, and they move. Because every time you watch one of these.
I love this.
Yeah, every time you watch one of these shows, it's like, how are they going to do that? You break a wall, Bill. You open it up. You put shiplap on it, and all of a sudden you got a whole new stadium.
We're kind of doing that here right now outside of our studio.
There you go.
Really cool stuff going on.
You're right, Bill. I don't know. I would say this. You can relocate the visitors' guest room. Don't improve them.
Right.
Don't improve
Make them slightly smaller.
Make them smaller and dingier. We don't want the guest locker rooms to be any more efficient. We want them to be as dingy and crummy as possible.
But I think because what was it, a couple years ago when Georgia came here for that noon game, and they had to bring their own air conditioners.
That's what you want.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, and the concessions and bathrooms and premium seating. I will admit, when that was the first time I've ever heard that, was moving the visitor team locker room.
Listen, hey, Gamecock Athletics, hire your boy. We got a show on him. Stadium Fixer-Upper, Williams-Brice edition. We're going to go in. We're going to take the troughs out. We're going to move all these different types of things. We're going to go in. Look at these troughs. These have been here since 1920. Get them out of here. This is a great show. Let's do it.
I'm all for it.
Chip and Joanna, what you doing?
I'm all for it. I tell you what, let's hear real quick one more clip because we're going to move on to some other stuff. This is updating the Rasul Faison situation, which it feels like South Carolina right now is stomping their feet, shaking their fists, but we're not getting any action. Here's Jeremiah Donati on the Rasul Faison situation.
Well, just that we don't have a final decision yet. I think I've seen cases or I've seen circumstances that were nearly not as extreme as his that were approved. And so I think that's why you can sense the frustration in Coach Beamer's voice and even in mine. So we still remain optimistic. I mean, the young man loves it here. He's dying to play. He's a great young man. We were all really excited about him being here. He certainly deserves a chance. And when you look at the circumstances surrounding his case and situation, this is kind of an easy one, to be honest. And so I think that's what you can hear back to the frustration in Shane's voice. We thought this was going to be done, months ago. And so, we're going to keep fighting the good fight. And you'd mentioned that, he's got an attorney behind him who knows the game and knows this stuff pretty well. And so we feel good about that. And we remain optimistic, but just frustrated for him. I mean, he's a young man that came here and wants to continue his career in a Gamecock uniform, and so to kind of be in this limbo is hard. It's hard for young people, and so I hope for his sake, for all of our sake, that we can come to a good decision here as soon as possible.
So there's a little bit on the Rasul Faison situation. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in when we come back. We'll move on and discuss a few other things, such as the New York Knicks. Are they actually in the SEC? Should they be part of the
I've
SEC?
been making this argument, and I think I'm getting more and more correct as we go.
We'll let Preston explain. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, where the Summer Love Savings event is just rolling along. A place where you're going to find exclusive deals with unprecedented opportunities on a wide variety of award-winning Chevys. 14 acres to be exact. You can get out there and walk around the lot, and that's really kind of what makes Love Chevrolet stand out, is the incredible customer service, the sales team, all the way down to the maintenance team, how they treat you, how they want to be helpful to you and make sure that you have the absolute best experience. So whether you're looking to go out and purchase a brand new car, truck, or SUV, or need a little bit of service on your vehicle, go visit Love Chevrolet. Again, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, home of the $1,000 low price guarantee, which means you can actually shop other dealerships, take their deal back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they will top it. So don't wait another day. Get out to Love Chevrolet today, and together, let's drive.
Charleston Highway, there appears to be an accident there. Getting a little more information on that, so hold tight. Fairfield Road at North Main Street, also an accident. Garners Ferry Road near Old Eastover Road. Killian at I-77, and Two Notch Road at I-20. Your forecast for the next few days, kind of pretty a repetitive pattern. Afternoon or evening thunderstorms today, 87. Much of the same tomorrow, 88 on Saturday. And just a few scattered storms could be popping up in the morning, maybe a couple in the evening on Sunday. Looking for a high of 89. It's overcast and holding at 76 on 107.5 The Game.
Maybe not message board mayhem. It might be NBA mayhem. Might be coaches mayhem. But whatever it is, the New York Knicks are heavily involved in it.
Bill, they don't do message boards in the NBA, but if they did, boy, would they be on fire right now. New York's Knicks message board would be going crazy. And I've said that the Knicks are an SEC team. They have ridiculous fans who are wildly overzealous. Maybe they have irrational confidence in their team as a important part of the whole ecosystem. They just had a successful year where they went to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 26 years, and it wasn't good enough. They fired their coach, Tom Tibbs, after having 2 50-win seasons, bringing them to the brink of West Coast of the NBA championship, and they got fired. And so what do we do with message boards when there's a firing? You got to start hearing things.
You got to put out a list.
You got to start hot board list. Well, the Knicks had a hot board list, Coach. They had a hot board list for their coaches. Unfortunately, none of them can work. The Knicks have been denied permission to talk to the following coaches.
The following.
Yeah, not one. Multiple.
Yes, it's like LeBron James. Not one, not two, not three. Go ahead. Who do you got?
First off, they started with Jason Kidd. Mm-hmm. They went to the Dallas Mavericks and said, hey, you just got rid of your best player. You think we could talk to Jason Kidd? The Dallas Mavericks said, nope, not going to do it. Then the Knicks said, okay, hey, Ime Udoka, you were good with the Boston Celtics. You got Houston on the rise. Hey, Houston, you think you want to let him talk to? What does Houston say? Nope, not going to do it. Then it starts to get slim pickings. Hey, Billy Donovan, you won a national championship a long time ago with Florida. Maybe we continue this SEC thing. Maybe we can rehash our old coach. Chicago Bulls, not going to do it. Okay. Get a little low. Hey, Chris Finch, I know you have a young budding star in the Ant-Man.
He's going to just be, he's going to leave you. He's going to be leaving.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with that. We're ready to go right now. Hey, Timberwolves, you want to let us talk to your coach? Nope. Quinn Snyder at Atlanta?
Boy, are we moving to other.
This feels very reminiscent of some of our coaching hires around here. Like, let's see who we're going to pick.
They're just starting to poke their head out of the guard and be like, you dressed well. Come here.
Yes. And so the Knicks are very much struggling to get into this situation where they can find a coach. But here's where I think the really key difference is, and why all you college coaches who say you want your league to be more like the NFL or the NBA, the key thing I just said was they have to ask permission, because as coaches of NBA teams, you are property of that team. You can't just leave all willy-nilly like you can in college. See, this is not how this works. In college, we've seen your team could lose at 9:30 and you can be announced 12 hours later as the head coach. Think they asked for permission?
Well, I don't know how you would do this, but I say this because of what you just said. You got to ask for permission. This is why some tampering, if you will, in terms of coaches may occur, because Virginia was like, we don't want to look stupid. So, hey, behind the scenes, let's reach out to Chris Pollard and just see if he's interested. If he is, let's carry the conversation a little bit further. And if he's really interested, let's go ahead and get him lined up, even though he's still coaching, because we don't want to look like morons if he says no during the offseason.
That's correct. And so when you're an NBA coach, you can't work those back channels because the team can say, no, you can't leave because you are under a contract. Much like many of these college coaches are, but guess what? College contracts don't mean anything because coaches can leave whenever they want to. And this is kind of the conversation that we've been having. But here's where it really gets into message board mayhem, Bill, because I saw 2 names pop up in the search.
Oh, boy.
2 good names.
Who we got?
Jay Wright.
Yeah, he's going to be involved in any coaching search anywhere, especially the NBA, for the next 5 years.
Jay Wright's name popped up. You know, you have the Villanova Knicks, you have Jalen Brunson, you have Josh Hart, you have Mikal Bridges. Yep. Just like college coaches, it's like, hey, it would work there. And then the big joker, the biggest joker. He's already in the city, Bill. He's been successful.
Yeah, he was not successful at Boston.
But that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Rick Pitino is in the search. His name has popped up, sources have said. And so you may not care about the NBA. You may not care about the Knicks. But we all care about a good botched coaching search. And here we are. The Knicks have botched their coaching search. And now we have gone to, I don't know how old Rick Pitino is. Older or younger than Paul Maneri?
I'm going older. He definitely looks older than Paul Maneri. Patino has the tendency to want to look like a vampire at
Plus
times.
or minus 70 on Patino?
I think he's plus.
Okay.
I think he's plus.
Okay.
I got it. 72. He'll be 73 on September 18th.
Hey, always up for a challenge. His name has surfaced in the most recent message board mayhem. If the Knicks did have a message board, his name is popping up. So that's your settlement for the Knicks. They asked for permission for several coaches. They have not received it, and now they're sort of looking around trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Maybe you should, ask around before you fire your coach.
Also, to carry it even further, you know what Tom Tibbs did that a certain coach around here did not do? Tom Tibbs took out a ad in the New York Times to thank them, the fans, for all their service. Anybody remember a certain coach around here who still hasn't given us an apology yet, champ?
Or hasn't given up his lake house.
Or that.
Y'all think he's gone. He's moving back here in a few years. We're going to see him on the lake. You're going to see him at Liberty on the Lake, where we'll be at next Friday for the Lake Murray Power Boat Run. You're going to see him over there at Catfish Johnny's. You're going to see him all over the lake. He's just going to be hanging out. And quite frankly, he might just have a bunch of $1 bills, and as he drives by your boat, just throws them at you. It's like, remember when you gave me this?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So we'll keep an eye on this. I'm not sure what the development will be from this. There is one coach I was listening to the earlier show, Taylor Jenkins from the Memphis Grizzlies. He probably is like, he's looking around. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Ja, I don't want to do that.
It seems a lot to deal with, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see.
803-404-6100. We'll come back, get back into a little bit of the College World Series, and I will get you a U.S. Open update. A popular name, kind of grumpy guy, but he's climbed the leaderboard here on Friday morning. I'll tell you who it is. You're listening to the early game.
Hey, it's Jen for CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. You know, we did a lot of demolition in our kitchen that I've talked about. Had to take that down to the studs. Had to totally rebuild up the kitchen. And they were great when we went in. Wasn't in the mood for doing a remodel, but they made the situation so much better. Then we got the photorealistic rendering of our finished kitchen. And it looked beautiful. And we were able to finish out the rest of the kitchen just with that photo. And we had such a great experience. We did some updating in some other bathrooms in the house. And again, very helpful, a lot of guidance in making those adjustments in those bathrooms and getting new cabinetry. But kind of looking at the closet now. Do we want to change some things out? Do we want to get rid of the wire hanging racks? Maybe some drawers would be helpful in a closet to help you get more functional. They can help you with that and so much more. Visit them online, chwcabinetry.com, or call them at 803-520-6837 and tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry in Lexington, passion from inspiration to installation. Fairfield Road at North Main Street have a report of an accident there and still working things getting things cleaned up there. Killian Road at I-77. 87 today, 88 tomorrow. Both days, chances for some pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon, maybe in the evening. And again, a chance for maybe a scattered storm here or there come Sunday, and a high of 89. Just kind of in this holding pattern for about the next week or so. Actually going to ramping up a little bit deeper into the 90s next week, and a few less chances for some rain. Right now, 76 on the early game.
Teal. It's not what we wear. It's who we are. It's a lifestyle, a brand, a statement. Whether you're in Conway or Omaha, people know what it means. It stands for champions, family, home. It represents hard work, dedication, a spirit that says we can and we will because we have. Omaha is no stranger to Teal, and Teal needs no introduction to Omaha. This week, we won't be saying nice to meet you. No. This is nice to see you again.
That is...
Ooh, Goosies!
I know.
Goosies!
Hey, when you're the best team in the state,
Woo, boy.
you can run that stuff. And for the last decade, Coastal Carolina has been the best team in the state.
That was good. Was that Coach Snow?
No, that is Michael Kelly, and I don't know who Michael Kelly is.
Okay, all right. That was good.
There's another minute of that video. You can see it on Twitter. We're in.
Why not?
I'm in. They have the fourth best odds to win the national championship among the 8 teams remaining. Arkansas is plus 200. They're the favorite. LSU is plus 220. Oregon State and Coastal, I guess technically third best odds because both Oregon State and Coastal are plus 650. And, yeah, you hear that video, and they're right. I mean, you realize, the people realize they have now been to 2 College World Series, which is 2 more than South Carolina and Clemson have been to since 2012.
Correct. And that was just since 2016.
Combined, by the way. Just if you want to make it worse, combined South Carolina and Clemson.
Yeah, if you want to combine. And it's not as if it's a shot. It's not as if, oh, they were good in 2016 and now all of a sudden they're good again in 2025. They've been really solid this whole time. And it goes to show you what maybe consistency in a program can stand for, what obviously Coach Snell filling in and taking up that role. One of the rare cases where, I don't know if he was given the title of head coach in waiting, but one of the rare cases when it actually works because he believes in what the program has done. Yeah, so this is a very, very solid story that obviously we're familiar with, and the rest of the country with that branding of that teal, people will know what it is.
It really is funny. I'll admit, I'm into it because it gives me something to really root for, to really get behind. It's an in-state team. They don't wear orange. That helps. Teal is actually not a bad color. It kind of fits the Myrtle Beach vibe.
It definitely does.
But no, it's been fun to follow them. 53-11 on the season. And Preston, you just mentioned it. You go back and you look at Coastal Carolina. They have been in the NCAA tournament in 2013, 2015, 2016, 2018, 2019, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. 9 times over the last 12 years, 13 years.
As I said, this is not a fluke. It's not a Cinderella story, as Coach said. This is consistency, and when you build on brand consistency, you have people, and they seem to have a very strong identity, who they are. Just like we know who Tennessee is, as far as baseball is concerned, we know who and how, probably more importantly, how Coastal will play, and they're going to be tough-nosed. They're going to do all the things the right way because when we listen to the coach, you know he believes that.
They, again, 53-11. Everything that they've accomplished this year has been very impressive. And, again, as you just heard me give the odds for the College World Series, Arkansas is the favorite, and Arkansas and LSU, which, again, I just hate that they're playing each other in the opening game. That'll be tomorrow. But Oregon State, who is on the side of the bracket there with Coastal Carolina, both Oregon State plus 650 and Coastal plus 650. Arizona plus 900. UCLA plus 900. Arizona plus 1,400. Louisville plus 1,600. And Murray State plus 4,000. Back there a little bit. So it goes to show you, this isn't a Cinderella. This isn't Coastal Carolina in baseball is not a Cinderella. They are I don't know if blue blood is the right thing to call, but they've won a championship. They've won a national championship in 2016, and the road for that again begins today.
Yeah, if you're familiar with the sport, you're gonna wait. You're gonna see them, and also as I stated previously, making a strong contention on the Jello shot board. Strong contention in third place right now with 277. That was last night. I am sure these numbers have been updated. So they were in third. Murray State, just glad to be here. Might as well drink all the Jello shots we can. And then obviously perennial favorite LSU. up on top of the leaderboard.
Listen, I got a feeling those Coastal students, they're not known for
Now, if LSU had an opponent, a formidable opponent for Jello shots, Coastal's the one, right?
I would think out of this group,
Coastal's probably the best.
because nothing against any Coastal graduates down there. You're not known for your education. You're not known for academics. You're known as being a bit of a party school.
They can do this.
I was down there last weekend. They held their own.
And then, again, Coastal's playing Arizona. Now, if they were playing Arizona State, maybe we're talking a little bit of the party school battle. But Coastal, they are the number one contender to dethrone LSU, even though LSU set a number in 2023 of 68,888 Jello shots bought.
Yeah, I think they're minus money on the in terms of the who can win the Jello shots. It does matter. Although LSU is one of those fan bases, they'll stick around the College World Series afterwards just to make sure they win the Jello Shot Award.
They're here for the party.
They're not going. They've already got their flights. Regardless of what happens, they leave. The LSU fans are flying out. I believe it's not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
Yeah, other teams party when they win. LSU parties and then they win also.
Figures it out.
Yeah, we'll figure out the party later.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun today. 2 o'clock on ESPN, Arizona and Coastal Carolina. Coastal will be the home team in that game. 7 o'clock tonight, Louisville and Oregon State. Obviously, Oregon State will be the home team. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, it'll be Murray State and UCLA. And I'll admit, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, get something on the grill. I'm into this College World Series. I'm into the U.S. Open, but LSU, the number 6 national seed, and Arkansas, the number 3 national seed. And just for the record, Jamie Bradford has been very pro-Arkansas in terms of being the best team and his pick for the national championship.
He has been there. He's been there. He staked his claim on that a long time ago, so we'll see if that comes to fruition.
Well, we appreciate being able to have Coach Kevin Schnall on and obviously Athletic Director Chance Miller as well from down there and follow them on this run to Omaha. And we'll see how it goes tonight or this afternoon, 2 o'clock again there in Omaha. 803-404-6100. We'll come back and wrap everything up here on your Friday morning. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic. Let me tell you guys, I'm getting older too. I'm noticing changes in my health, and it's not just something to shrug off. If it's something serious, like maybe you're gaining weight and you're still working out or losing weight and you're not real sure why, maybe you don't have the energy you used to have. Maybe there's some other issues, whether it's throughout the day or when you come home to hang out with the family, it's time to call Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic and schedule an appointment. A safe, comfortable, friendly environment for you to feel comfortable, that's keyword, comfortable about speaking about any health issues you have. That's what the Men's Clinic is there for. So set up an appointment today, 803-875-MENS. And the big thing about the Men's Clinic is they understand that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. From your first visit, you will be seen as an individual and given a customized treatment plan developed around your specific symptoms. So call and schedule an appointment today, 803-875-MENS. Visit them on the web, themensclinicsc.com. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. Final segment of the show of the week. Again, reminder, a week from today, we will be out, Preston and I will be out at Liberty on the Lake for the Lake Murray Power Boat Run. Our good buddy Brett Lasso is already offering to get us back in a boat and make it go faster this time.
I was younger then. I don't know.
Those were your younger years, 2 years ago?
This was
Very true.
It was a different time.
So we'll be out there. Our good friends from Camp Discovery, Mary Beth Estes will be out there. We'll see the group from the Big Red Barn and talk about that. Expect to hook up with our good buddy Leon Lott, who I know you have done a lot of stuff with the books.
Yeah, it'll be great. Always a great time to talk with Sheriff Lott and just kind of get a little gauge on him. I know whenever people are approaching him, he always has to talk about very serious things. So I think he appreciates a little bit of the reprieve that we give him.
We will get into some baseball talk with him, but look forward to all of that. And of course, Brett and Allie out there with the Lake Murray Power Boat Run, we'll have them on as well. 803-404-6100 if you hear anything you want to weigh in here on the final segment. So we've done the Sandlot. The Sandlot this week. It's probably going to be my favorite that we do.
That we wanted to start off with a bang. We wanted to start off with something that a lot of people could relate to, and when you saying that, I'm not surprised because it's phenomenal. When you rewatch it, it still hits all the notes. It's just a brilliant movie.
And I told you both my kids watched it maybe about a summer or two ago. So you're talking at that time 13 and 11, 12 and 14. They're 13 and 15 now. But they loved it. Mm-hmm. They loved it so much that then, as good as Sandlot was, Sandlot 2 was...
Oh, yeah, well, that happens often. I have a feeling my child, who's 5 years old, she might feel the same way about Moana and Moana 2. Because,
okay.
Moana 2. Disney was trying to cash a check, and it didn't quite work. Moana 1, awesome. Moana 2... So, yeah, the Sandlot
2, yeah. I mean, I don't think I
What does it say, like Sandlot 2 Back to the Yard or something like that?
I'm not 100% sure I knew there was a Sandlot 2 until my daughter...
I think they might have went 3 times to the bucket. I think they went several times to this.
Sandlot 2, let's see if it's got a...
Return to the Field.
And it just, I mean, again, none of the cast came in. They all knew. They stayed out of it, of trying to get involved, but... I'm just kind of glancing through to see if there's any actors. James Earl Jones was back as Mr. Myrtle.
And rest in peace to James Earl Jones. Rest in peace. I imagine the Beast dog is no longer with us anymore. But yeah, man, The Sandlot is it's a classic movie. It's a classic movie. It hits all the notes, and it sort of reminds you of the innocence of childhood and summers, how fun summers used to be at a time when you weren't. And my biggest takeaway from that whole movie is that, hey, there were no parents around. These kids were playing, they were having a great time, and they had a summer of fun that you could relate to when you were watching them.
The old, I mean, granted, the movie is set in 1962, so I don't know if you grew up going to, like, community pools. I actually never did that. But, yeah, I think there's a lot of people who can look back and be like, I remember community pools and playing baseball in the summer, night baseball with the fireworks. Another underrated aspect of that was kind of funny because you just watch them and you can tell they don't know what they're doing, which actually makes it even better acting is when they put the dip in and they start chewing it, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do. Like that is the one thing I can say I've never done dip. I have never put a whatever chawl or whatever he calls it.
If we were playing a game of Have You Ever, I'd be quiet right now because I have.
But
wasn't successful.
But yeah, but that's another little feat where everybody knows, and it might not have been dippy. We all know something we did very stupid at an early age that went sideways on us.
Check. And honestly, a lot of that was because there were no parents around.
Well, and you got to experiment, because you're not going to believe them if they say, hey, don't do this, that's not good for you, don't do this, that's not safe. You kind of have to experience it.
And that is true. I did not need anybody else to tell me that I didn't need to dip anymore. I got the message.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
very clear.
I think we all, and it might be boy or girl, depending on your gender, but I think we've all had that crush that Smalls had. I think it was Smalls on Wendy Peppercorn.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that summer crush that you've had.
Of course.
Bless his heart. I mean, what were the odds that he was a drowning victim and needed her mouth to mouth? Oh, gosh.
Poor Smalls.
And I like, too, the end of it where the end where they're going through what everybody did, and the Hambino, or he turns into the great Hambino, the wrestler, and Smalls, I think, ended up marrying Wendy Peppercorn. I think it says something like they had 9 kids.
Yeah. Pretty funny.
That's the fictional part.
Yeah.
Correct.
Smalls, you had no chance.
That's where it actually became a movie. 803-404-6100. So next week, we're going to preview one.
We're going to preview another movie next week, and because we do not get a chance to talk about hockey often, we're going to go to a hockey movie.
Okay.
We're gonna go
I was
to-
afraid we were going to go to one I didn't like.
We're going to go to a hockey movie. We don't get a chance to talk hockey often, so if you know of a kid's hockey movie
I think I
from
might.
the 90s, that's where we're going to be.
One that actually had a run of, I would say, mildly to somewhat successful.
Maybe argue that the second one better than the first one.
Ooh. Ooh, all right. Yeah. Well, we get into that, but yeah, Sandlot was really good. Wrapping things up. I said it. Great sports weekend. We got the College World Series. You got NBA playoffs tonight. I'm calling it a must-win for the Thunder. Simply cannot go down 3-1. We mentioned it. The NHL has been absolutely phenomenal. The U.S. Open is, it was living up yesterday to what was expected. J.J. Spawn's still in the lead. I mentioned earlier I was going to give an update. Brooks Koepka is 3 under through 5 today. He is now 1 shot behind J.J. Spawn, and this is a Koepka-style tournament.
Well, here's the big thing about Brooks Koepka, which many of you may not know. Die-hard Florida Panthers fan. Die-hard Florida Panthers fan. So he may not be playing well today after they lost that
No,
game
he's playing
last
great.
night.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's on. That's what I'm saying. He's 3 under.
Maybe he's avenging the loss from the Panthers.
He's rallying. Siwoo Kim is at 2 under. Victor Hovland's at 1 under. Sung Jae Im is at 1 under through 3 on the day. It's going to be a lot of fun. John Rahm bogeyed number 1 and is even par through 4 as he taps in for par now. Preston, a lot of fun this week. A lot of fun. I look forward to our movies next week.
We'll see last week. It should be fun. Hockey movie from the 90s with kids. You know what it is.
You probably do. We'll be out at Liberty on the Lake next Friday as well, but we will be back here in studio on Monday and look forward to talking to you then. You just... Bill Gunner for the Mortgage Guru, Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. Now, you've heard me talk about it just about 5 years ago, actually exactly 5 years ago. Jacob Crowder was helping me purchase my condo on the lake. Now, I found it, but the key was I needed to know how much I could spend, what the interest rate was going to be, what deal I could get that would help me out. And that's where Jacob came in and was absolutely fantastic. And he's doing that again now with First Palmetto Bank. Locally owned and operated right here in the Midlands. All you need to do is give him a phone call and speak with him about what you are looking for and how much you're looking to spend. And Jacob will be more than helpful to you, just like he was to me. Give him a phone call today, 803-719-1005. Again, that's 803-719-1005. You can also email him, the letter J, Crowder, at firstpalmetto.com. Find out what the interest rates are, see if things have stabilized, see what the housing market is like, and get the kind of deal that you need to get a great purchase for the right price with a great interest rate. Call Jacob Crowder today, 803-719-1005.